It's not based on one teacher on each side coming to an agreement, so that if the college person leaves, they don't want to honor it, they don't have to honor it. They're enrolled in college. It means it makes them eligible for a certain amount of student support services, counseling, other kinds of matriculation support that we can offer. Our goal would be to see every student in every pathway program in the consortium graduate high school with at least 6 units of transferable college credit. That's our goal. It's a huge goal. It's going to take a ton of work.
Can I come in here at this point too? Because one of the things I'm curious about, you're talking about speed dating on a global level. So I'm going to bring it back to one date here, not Diablo. But my curiosity is, if the community college board knows this or you know this, what other districts are participating in dual enrollment in our vicinity? Do you work with others who are doing dual enrollment, or is this something that we're just sort of, because I can't name too many around here. I know some schools in Southern California and other places, but I'm curious who's doing it around here.
It's not happening at scale in this area right now. I would say that. Now that we operate as a state system, so we're very closely connected with the folks in Santa Barbara or Pasadena.
Right. I know Southern.
Yeah.
I'm thinking right around here, is there any? Because I don't know anyone, and I've been working at the county office of ed for 10 years. I couldn't name anybody.
I mean, the good news is there are folks who kind of blaze this trail. So the kinds of instructional services agreements that need to be created, the kinds of ways to think about it from a budgeting perspective. A lot of that road has been hoed for us, which is really good. But it's not. I think it's just. It's easier to tell, to say, and this has mostly happened faculty doing it themselves. So the reason articulation is big is, it's a faculty person from the high school or the college side says, hey, I'm excited, I want to work with you, can my students get college credit for this course? And they kind of hammer it out. As a system priority, it's really something that a college or a district has to say, this is important to us, because it's mechanically complicated.
We also had a question from the public. I don't know if you got it answered or not. Well, I just had a question with regards to the cost, like who pays for the college classes as a high school student. Are they paying for it? Are they getting full credit?
It's free to them.
It's free to them. Are they getting full credit? So like if it's a 6-unit course?
It's the same course. I mean, so they get the same credit as if a student of the college was actually taking the course.
And that's transferable to
CSU and UC, yeah. I mean, and so this has been a big issue for us on the college side, because what we're looking at are the transfer pathways. And if we can identify the CSU accepted statewide transfer pathways, and some of them are in CTE areas, we walk that back so that we're sure that whatever that dual enrollment course is provides them transferable credit.
So can I just ask, we have DVC and Los Medanos. Are there any dual enrollment courses offered now? Anything you're doing? I know in Pittsburgh Unified, there's something
we just met with Pittsburgh, Antioch, and Liberty, and we're hoping within the next 6 months that we will have that. Our goal is defined up here. I think Mr. Enholm and his objective was talking about at least a course, but we had a meeting about a month ago with each of the superintendents, and they've agreed that we're going to go with this approach ASAP. It'll take a little bit of time, of course, to implement it, but that's the goal.
And Contra Costa does have an MOU now with West Contra Costa Unified to do this. And so they were part of a pilot grant called the California Community College Link Learning Initiative, the Irvine Foundation, to look at this as a transition model. And so we've actually piloted a couple dual enrollment courses out there.
I just wanted to comment. Another point that Mr. Enholm made, I think, is about transportation. That was one of the issues that many of the high school principals mentioned, was that we're going to have to figure that portion out.
And I know I met with, through Mr. Enholm, I met with one of the school board members in Pittsburgh, and we started talking about, because Mount Diablo obviously goes from Bay Point, we have part of Pittsburgh, all the way over to Walnut Creek. We have 6 large cities in our district, so we're the largest district around this area. But we talked about in that corridor, the Highway 4 corridor, how Bay Point, Antioch, and Pittsburgh can partner and maybe get some accommodations from transportation for less expensive services, so that the kids can, Bay Point kids are more likely to look over to LMC, and so how we can work together along that corridor to get that transportation for them. So that is a problem for some of those students.
Yeah, that's why we would like to start these courses at the high school sites, because it gets them in the door. It's getting that first step in. I think it's often the hardest. Also, the matriculation process isn't easy, so if we could support them while they're still in high school, getting enrolled, getting a first course under their belts, it really makes it, then they're going to their college, already. And the one that the really only difference then is they start attending later on, actually.
Well, and the conversation we've had, and thank you for bringing that up, is one is it better for students, some will argue that it's better for the high school student to go to the community college because they're in a different setting with adults. And so sometimes what that does for them is inspire them to see college as an opportunity and want to continue. And then some say because of the time, some of these kids' schedules are really impacted, so travel time for them is difficult, so then it's better to look at having that opportunity in the local high school for those students. So we've talked about both models, and I presume there's an openness or an interest for Mount Diablo to work on either or both of those avenues with our students.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an either-or
Right.
situation.
I think we're looking at options,
I mean,
multiple.
what would be nice is because students like to, they have sports or other things after school, is if we can do it during the instructional day after students get their 240 minutes of the base instruction, so you're still getting your full ADA, then have it available, then it's something they can get without having to attend after school.
Thank you. Did I turn it off? Can you hear me? Is it on? Okay. So I invited Mr. Enholm to a program that I was chaperoning through Martinez Unified School District. It's called Envision Tomorrow. And what we did was we did have UC Berkeley professors and faculty come to Alhambra, teach the courses, and it basically took, and I did this with a good friend in Cedro Farias, and we looked at, for example, say, developing houses or developing a housing unit area. And we took every step of the way, and we showed every job link to it, including we got the kids down to the city council meetings. We had them at planning commissions to see that. We had them do the landscaping. We had them look at architects. And we had all of the teachers that had the background come to Alhambra after school and teach the classes. And it was once a week for 6 weeks, and then in the summertime we took them to UC Berkeley, and we had them stay on campus for 2 weeks and do the student thing. So we did a blended kind of program. That, of course, was, he's left UC Berkeley and I moved on from Martinez Unified, but there are all kinds of pilot programs out there where you can look at being creative and giving those students that the foundation at the site so they get their foot in the door, and then you can make the experience on campus something that they can look forward and experience maybe perhaps in the summer as a student.
And I think that what this also does, it helps us get K-12 students into the matriculation season at college before they get out, so they're not wandering out and then trying to figure out how to get back in. So we're looking at ways for them to start doing educational planning, getting ready to actually have an educational plan for our system in their sophomore and junior year, really beginning to think ahead. We want to get them enrolled as early as possible in college. We want them working with college counselors and high school counselors together, so we're trying to explore kind of shared counseling models, what that would look like, whether those could be counseling courses that we offer at the high school side, or whether it's cross-training, whatever that may be. We want to use our assessment, our placement exam with students in their junior year, because we can use it as a diagnostic to see where they're at skill strand-wise in math and English in certain areas. And that's actually one of the ways you can really open up that great dialogue about college and career readiness, because the placement exam, it basically tells you what math and English professors at my colleges think it means to be ready. And so if we use that to see where students are at, then if we need to work with them in their senior year, they know what to expect, much more so. I also think doing college work ready early really helps them understand the rigor, the way the Carnegie unit works on the college side, so they don't get shocked. I mean, that's one of the things. Students come in and they're shocked at how hard the work is. My son started college this year, and he got generally pretty good grades, and he was flipping out because he worked like crazy in the fall and he got all B's. He was like, it would have been all A's when he was in high school. I mean, it was really surprising to me. So those are kind of the 4 pillars: the dual enrollment, early matric, early assessment, and then really the counseling.
I have a question. I have a question, just procedural. Have you considered making a video that would be available to high school teachers and counselors so that they could see all of this, perhaps by having it on their school website or on the district website?
Well, I think we want to go beyond that to a certain degree, and this is work we've actually taken up in the Department of Labor grant. We're trying to think about ways to build career navigation tools